Hello guys, 4-game slate for Monday, breaking down the main slate here. Milwaukee at Brooklyn. Milwaukee side Giannis, 10.4K. This is going to be one of my core plays for the day. He's just too cheap. This is a matchup in which we should expect the Bucks to have to keep it close, and that means that the stars are going to have to play big minutes. Last time Giannis was in foul trouble, so he didn't get quite get to his mid-30s in minutes, so I definitely expect a bounce back game. This is definitely a primetime matchup. So, yeah, I really like Giannis. 10.4K is just too cheap, even though the team is pretty healthy. Middleton, Drew Holiday, they're going to be secondary plays. Brook Lopez as well, because DeAndre Jordan is a center. He doesn't really step out close to three-point line, so Brook should be able to get some looks from three. Middleton, Drew, they're just okay plays because their prices aren't like that cheap. And if you're looking for value, DJ Augustine, he could be worth a look. Pat Connaughton probably gonna get some ownership, but I prefer Augustine over Connaughton if you're really digging deep here. Brooklyn side, we don't know if Kyrie's gonna play. I would guess that he isn't because it's only been a few days since return. So in that case, I definitely would play some Harden and KD. If Kyrie's back, it's just gonna be hard to go with these guys. Like I prefer Giannis either way, if Kyrie's in or not. DeAndre Jordan, he might be a popular play, 4,800, but they don't really need to close with him. He didn't close last time, even though they had Vucevic on the other side, so it would have made sense for Jordan to close, but they didn't, and they opted to go smaller. So I don't really think Jordan is that much of a core play. I think he's going to get a lot of ownership, but he's just not someone who's going to take a lot of shots. Like he's only getting rebounds, maybe he gets like a block or two, but he's just not the same player as he once was with the Clippers, and he's just going to be setting screens. He's not really doing much else out there. For the Mavericks side, Luka 11K, Porzingis 8.2. Porzingis is on a back. The Mavs are on a back-to-back, so I wouldn't expect Porzingis to be in, but maybe he is because of just how short-handed the Mavericks are going to be for this game. Either way, I do like Luka still 11K. I probably would expect OG Anunoby to guard Luka, but I'm not gonna really look into like one-on-one matchups. Tim Hardaway 6.8K. It's a little pricey, even if KP is going to miss. WCS 1500. That's too much for just how low usage he is. Trey Burke, he gets some good minutes, same thing with James Johnson, but they're just both like for Burke's case, it's really shot dependent. He doesn't do much else. James Johnson, he's not that great of an offensive player. He's really productive, but he is 5K, so he's no longer that cheap for a value play. What's the one do? I mean, he plays a lot of minutes, but he's not productive. So 3,300, if you're really looking for a deep punt, hoping that somehow he gets more looks because the Raptors double Luka or something like that, and Dallas, a lot of guys are out, maybe, but it's not something that you're gonna be comfortable with. Toronto side, none of these feel like core plays either, just because they're pretty healthy right now, and Dallas isn't like an easy target for fantasy. And Toronto, they're just priced pretty well. Like Siakam 8.4K, that's probably priced right. You can maybe say it's a little bit overpriced. VanVleet, Lowry, I prefer Lowry. He's just a little bit cheaper. I think he's a little bit better, can contribute a little bit more in categories. And just, again, the minutes, how they stagger it. Boucher, 7,100, he's in play. Probably Boucher might be my favorite play on this team, just because of the monster upside that he has every game, and he's been pretty consistent as well. So, last game he was in foul trouble, so his minutes weren't that great. He probably would have actually played his most minutes of the season for him. So I like Boucher still. And Anunoby 6K, I just don't really feel that's that good. Powell probably gonna see elevated ownership, but because of the Boucher foul trouble, they drew on a short rotation. He shot really well. I'm not gonna go and chase this game. For the Rockets, Victor Oladipo's not listed here, which is just a mistake on DraftKings part, but we're gonna have to work with what we have here. Christian Wood 8,900. This is a very good matchup against the Bulls. Cousins is expected to be back though, so we probably won't see 40 minutes for Wood again. But I still think Wood's in play. Victor Oladipo being in, Eric Gordon probable. It's gonna hurt Wood's usage, but with how bad the Bulls are rebounding, how bad they are defensively, I still think Wood is in play. Eric Gordon, I'm going to like him, 5,200. He only missed a couple of games, so I don't expect him to be on a minutes limit. With Oladipo in, obviously it's not as great, but Gordon, I just feel like he's too cheap here. 5,200, you take off James Harden and you insert Oladipo rather, it's still a lot of usage that's going to be freed up. So I still really like Eric Gordon. It's weird how they have point guard eligibility on him, but again, just we have what we have. So I like Gordon a lot. Cousins 5K. His minutes aren't gonna be that great. They don't really play him with Wood, so it's only for tournaments. If you think like Wood maybe gets a foul trouble, you're playing something like that, and Cousins gets a very productive game. And then with Oladipo and Gordon in, it just hurts. All these guys that we look to, like Sterling Brown, McLemore, and also the prices are up. We're gonna have to watch about their lineup, starting lineup. So possibly maybe we can look for a value play here in the 4K range. Bulls side, there's a lot to discuss here. Lauren Markkinen, 6.7K. He might be the best play out of like the main guys here. Kobe White, his price is up now, and also they have Archidiakono back, and Sato could also be back. So Kobe White's getting heavy minutes, but that was because they didn't have the point guard depth. Now they do, so it's a little concerning about White's minutes, and also if he doesn't play well, which sometimes he has really bad shooting games, he could definitely lose some minutes. Wendell Carr, 6,500. He has a crazy stocks game, which we don't usually see that from Wendell. So he's got a really low floor for a center. 6,500 is definitely not cheap, so it's not gonna be a guy that I want to play a lot of. Otto Porter 5,700. He definitely has some upside, but he just doesn't really get a lot of minutes. Like he's not starting, but still like this is someone who definitely has talent, but he's just not getting the minutes, so it's tough to get to him. And then depending on who they have, like Thaddeus Young, he could be a pretty good value play, 3,800, because he is pretty productive when he's out there, and we don't know what kind of minutes that he's gonna get. This is a fast-paced game. This is a easier matchup against the Rockets, so definitely he gets some blocks and steals. He gets a little bit of everything. And then Gafford, he's 3K minimum. Archidiakono 3K as well. These are guys that minutes will fluctuate, so they have a very low floor. But if there's no good value, we can take a chance on them. Warriors side, the Lakers have been blowing everyone out, so it's risky anytime you play players on the opposite side. But Curry, he's 9,800, which any game he can go off for like 70 plus. So for tournaments, I definitely want to always have a little bit of him. Wiggins 6,600, Oubre 5,400. I prefer Oubre because of the discount. Wiggins does get a lot more minutes, but I just don't really think this is the matchup where we can expect Wiggins to have a big game. I would think maybe Draymond Green actually is my favorite play out of the Warriors side for their starters because 5,200 for someone who does a little bit of everything. The Lakers, as great of a team as they are, they do turn the ball over a lot sometimes, so Draymond could pick up on that. Don't expect him to go small though, so maybe rebounds aren't going to be that great for him, but this is pretty cheap for someone who has triple double upside. James Wiseman, 4,600. His minutes have been really nice recently, and because the Lakers don't go small, Wiseman could be forced into playing some big minutes. He does have foul trouble risk, but 4,600 for someone who also sometimes gets some blowout run. Wiseman could be a very good tournament play. Don't think he's going to be too popular. Now, Pascal, Damian Lee, Bazemore, these are guys who obviously can get more minutes off the bench if of foul trouble or if they just play well, because Steve Kerr does reward the bench players if they play well with more minutes. Now, Pascal's going to look the best because he's probably the best one out of these three. Damian Lee's more of a shooter. Bazemore, he's okay, but Pascal, he's actually been getting blowout run recently, so that's going to just bump him up a lot. So Pascal, probably the best bench player if you're looking for a very deep value. Now, Lakers side with LeBron questionable, he's probably going to play again, so I'm not going to really go to LeBron or AD as core plays, but I'll definitely have a little bit of him, especially if you're playing Curry, Draymond. Playing Golden State side, definitely try to get, it makes sense to have both sides of this game then. Harrell's 5,700, he's okay. There could be some upside here. Golden State, they haven't been great, particularly against big men. Schroeder is a little bit overpriced. He just doesn't have that ceiling when the stars are healthy. Gasol 4,100, he's just pretty low usage. KCP 3,900, they don't really play any of these guys big minutes because they're just so deep. So it's it's not really safe. But KCP has been playing pretty well. So 3,900 Warriors, you really need some value. I think he's fine. Caruso as well, 3,600, and Wesley Matthews, he has like a literally 0.4, but we should see more minutes probably this time if it's not a blowout. He was back from injury, so that's why I got 14. very low floor, but he just needs to knock down some shots. He's the bare minimum. So 3K tournaments. Favorite play on the slate. That's gonna be Giannis as a pay up. Gonna put him on center because I'm gonna put Luca because I do think that maybe he can probably be able to send up and get the value plays. Eric Gordon, and then the value plays. I'm going to put Pascal for now as small forward, and then Thaddeus Young. Only Aaron Gordon and Giannis, I want to stress this, Gordon and Giannis are the core plays as of now. These other three guys, like Luca's secondary, Pascal and Thad, they could be good value plays depending on the slate shakes out, but right now it's Aaron Gordon and Giannis as the really main core plays, but if I had to make my usual core five, it's going to be these five guys. So we have a lot of news that we got to wait on with Brooklyn and Dallas, so and also Houston. So again, just always stay up to date with the news. I'll make sure to update my picks on my Twitter at BallFulls. Link will be in the description below. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like before you go. And as always, good luck on the slate, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.